Welcome to another edition of the Pastor's Cut. I hope you enjoyed worship this last Sunday as we began our St. Luke's on Broadway series. And we began by looking at the wonderful musical, The Sound of Music. This was the 50th anniversary of the release of the film with Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer. There's so much in the story that I really had wanted to share this past Sunday that either didn't exactly fit with one of the points I was trying to make or couldn't fit in because of time, that I thought I'd take a moment to share with you this morning. I thought one of the more interesting things was the fact that when you look at Captain George Von Trapp, his first wife was Agatha Whitehead. It turned out that her grandfather, was Robert Whitehead. He was from England, and he was the inventor of the torpedo. When the British didn't want to buy his invention, it was Emperor Franz Joseph who did want to buy it, the Austrian emperor, and so they moved to Austria because he said he was willing to build a torpedo factory for him. You remember, of course, that it was Captain George Von Trapp who was a U-boat captain and a very successful one in World War I. He earned great honors and a great love out of his country for his service in World War I. So just knowing the fact that it was his first wife's grandfather who invented the torpedo, and Captain George Von Trapp actually was a U-boat captain, and it was the fact that the Austrian emperor wanted the invention is what brought her to Austria. And as we say, there was a grace moment when the two of them would meet, fall in love, and begin having their family. Together they would have 7 children, the children that Maria would ultimately come and be there to be the governess to. It was from scarlet fever that Agatha Whitehead would pass away. And it was scarlet fever that her child, that we know as Liesel, her real name was Maria as well, she was the one who also had scarlet fever and was unable to go to school. And that's why Maria came as the governess, was to take care of that child who had scarlet fever. And then she wound up taking care of all 7 children. It really is a story about God's grace moving in people's lives through the midst of struggles, tragedies such as death, tragedies such as the Nazis and people trying to force you into values you cannot agree with and believe. It's about life. From the things that happen, like death and scarlet fever, to the things that happen where people are being mean and unfair, and how do you keep dealing with those things so that God keeps giving you a dream, another dream, so that you have hope and the courage to keep on dreaming and climbing your mountains. I hope you enjoyed our very first week. I look forward to sharing with you this week as we come back and look at one of the most successful Broadway shows of all time, Fiddler on the Roof. Have a great week.